Hi everyone, it's Karen from Inspired by Graham, and tonight I am bringing out the Lots to Love kit. It is one of our new kits in our kits collection, and I need to make this kit for a senior living facility group that I'll be teaching in February for the very first time. So they're going to be making this kit. I don't know if they're avid stampers, beginners, or whatever, so I thought I would take this one to them to put together. So and then I can get a sense of where they are as stampers. So what I like to do is just take apart the kit, organize it, and put it together. So I thought I would do that with you guys since it is a new kit. So it's only $15 plus your shipping and handling. Item number is 167263, and you can find the description on the Stampin' Up website, but what it does say is design thoughtful cards without the fuss. The Lots to Love kit has everything you need to craft sweet handmade cards enhanced with colorful accents and fun botanical touches. Each kit comes with printed card bases and envelopes, laser cut card fronts, pre-cut paper pieces and sentiments, and dot embellishments. Whether you're saying thanks or just saying hello, this kit lets you create meaningful cards with ease. And you get to make 9 cards, and they're all A2 size cards, and 3 each of 3 designs. And if you want to take these apart and make alternatives, the colors from Stampin' Up that are in the kit are Basic Beige, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Pretty Peacock, one of my favorites, Strawberry Slush, and Timid Tiger. And what's great about our kits, a lot of times they come in different languages, and which for my demographic area works out really great. We have lots of like immigrants in our area, and lots of people that just speak other languages except for other than English. So there's English, French, and German in this kit, which is really nice for my people here. So our kits come in a box like this, and these are great boxes to use for gifting like your presents in, because they're so cool, they're so sturdy, and I always save these. So we'll put that aside. And then this is what the kit looks like on the front and the back side. So I'm going to do this kit like I normally would do when I'm teaching a class such as the independent living facility or the senior living facility that I teach at. So here in this package is, we've got some Stampin' Dimensionals. These look like the minis, and also the dots for the embellishment. And it looks like they're Darling Duckling. All right, so they kind of got a few that are in the larger size, 6 of them, and then the rest are all small. These are the mini dimensionals, so we're going to put those aside. I always tell people, put your dimensionals, your adhesive, or whatever you have that's separate from all the panels over to your right side. And then we have some envelopes. So oh wait, there's some mini glue dots in here. I didn't even see that. So let's take those out of here, and we'll put those over there with the mini glue dots. I always keep these bags so my participants will gift them back to me, or they use them for their own whatever they want to use them for. But here are the envelopes. There's 9, and these here have a really nice texture to them. So they look like basic white, but there is, hopefully you can see it, there is a little texture on there. So what we do first, like I said, we work top to bottom. So I will have my participants fold and burnish the envelope flap. And I do this because it creates less space that you need. So see here, it's using more of your table space. So if we fold and burnish these down, we've got more table space to use. So we will fold and burnish these, all 9 of them. And just the up and back with your bone folder works perfectly. So up and back, and that way that flap is, you know, cut, or it's folded over, burnished, and it's laying down pretty flat for you. So we'll keep going through and then we'll get to see what is next after these next few envelopes. Looks like 2 more to go. And then, oh, we got a few more actually. And okay, here's one more. So once we have all the envelopes folded over, burnished and everything, I ask them, put them aside, put them back in your box because you don't need those right now. All right, it looks like the next step downward are card bases. So we should have 3 that look like this. And again, we're gonna fold those over and burnish. And I have them make a pile over to the left side for right now. And then over there. So we've got 3. All right. Oh, wow. Look at these. So we've got some foam strips and we've got 2 sheets of them. So this will be interesting. I don't even know what this looks like. So looks like we've got a lot of foam strips to work with. Our next layer down are some more card bases. These are really cute. So we will fold and burnish those again. So again, we should have 3. I love those sweet little flowers there. You can add Wink Stella to those too and make it look really cute. Okay, so those are the 3. And we'll leave those right there. And then we've got some die cuts and it looks like we've got a couple sheets. So it looks like we have 3 sheets. And sometimes with the die cuts, you can poke them all through at once. So all 3 layers. You just have to be really careful. If you struggle with this, try 2. And then if you're still struggling, then just do them individually. Okay, so it looks like we got some pretty flowers in, it looks like probably strawberry slush. And it looks like we've got some foliage and berries. Just have to be really careful if you're taking all 3 of them out. So we'll just put those over there. And then the next color here, these are already loose, so let's go with a pretty peacock. And we'll set those over there. And then we've got some timid tiger again. Okay, we got that. Now is like a good time where if you've got some scissors handy, you can just cut these down so you don't have all of this other stuff in the way. And it could be a little bit easier for you to handle as well. This is just trash, so we'll put that in my recycle bin. And then we've got some more here. So these flowers, these again are timid tiger. And then we've got some pretty peacock leaves. A little different from the other ones. And then we got some fresh freesia little flowers. There's lots of little pieces here. So organization is really the key to making our kits. The more organized you are, the easier it's going to be for you. So we'll put these over here, and these are doubled up. So there's just 3 of them. All right, the next thing is our sentiments. So for me, I'm English, so I'm going to find my English sentiments. So it looks like hello dear friend is one of them. Looks like it's bordered around with some fresh freesia. So hello friend there. And then we got so excited for you. And then the last one is thanks lots and lots. Now, what do I do with these? I keep them in a bin for future classes, and anybody can have access to my sentiment dies and just leftover things that they might want to make an alternative if we're using a kit. So I just pop those out and put them in my bin. I'm going to set these aside for now because we don't really need those. The next step down are our last 3 card bases. So we're going to fold and burnish. I'm going to do this off to the side because I'm already losing my space here. Looks like we've got the laser die cuts next, so let's check those out. Okay, so it looks like we've got some panels, and that's all they are. So I'm going to put these off to the side way over here on the left. We've got a lot of these little basic white flowers, so I'm going to keep them on for just right now. I want to see how they're going to be used. And then we've got, let's see, some ovals here. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to crisscross them over there. And then we've got a large oval with like a sunburst there, and I'm going to just put them over there with the other ones. This chipboard I love to keep, so if people don't want them, I ask to take them back because I can use these on, I like to recycle the chipboard that's in here, so a lot of times they'll just give it to me, which is very helpful for my inventory too when I'm doing albums. So let's take a look at the cards here. So here's this one, which is this card base here. So I'm going to grab that one and put it over there. And then here are the ones with the ovals and then the large sunburst oval. So let's open up our instruction sheet and take a look at what we need for each project. And then I'm going to set it over here with their card base. So it looks like for number 1 is going to be, let's see, this card here. Looks like that. And we're going to need a lot of pieces for that one. So it's the Thanks Lots and Lots card. So let's put that over here. And then it looks like we need this piece, all of these here. These are the strawberry slush, and then the timid tiger. And then it looks like we have these foliage that look like a V. And there should be 3 of those. You can also take a pen or pencil and just check these off too as you find them. Let's see, we've got some more of these here. This card is going to have a lot of these little pieces, so that's going to be great. And that was that one, and these 3 here. Okay, and then it looks like we need the fresh freesia doubles. So these double flowers we'll put over here. We already have the sentiment. And that looks like I've got everything that I need for that one. So then we're going to turn our page and we're going to look at card number 2. So this is the hello card with the 4 ovals. So let's work with this one and sort out what we need. So the hello, dear friend, will go in that pile. And then we have a doubles and whites, so, or 3s. So there's a double here and the triple. And that's the basic white flowers. Okay. And that's all we need for that card, it looks like. So then that one can go over here. I'm not going to worry about these panels yet because they're easy to get to. Card number 3 is going to be this one here. So I'll make a pile right here. And all 3 of these little foliages, all 3 of the colors. So let's just pile those over there. These are the, whoops, there's that card base goes there, and So Excited for You goes over here. Okay, next up is we're going to go back to number 1. And that's this one right here. And you'll find the instructions for number 1 at the very top. So here's your instruction sheet. If you need a ruler, there's one over here in inches, and there's the metric over here. Let's flip this over as well so you can kind of see what is in the kit. So they always give us a picture over here and then what it contains. So if you're looking for, if you're missing something, look here. I've never been a short shipped or anything like that with any of our kits, so just be careful how you organize. Okay, and then there's another page here that will show you exactly, like from the front of the card, what you're going to need. Okay, so that's another place where you can look, where they're all on one sheet. I like to go individual. That way I can see the pictures a little bit bigger. So we're going to work on that large oval with the sunburst card, the thanks card. So another thing about our kits is there's images here. So hopefully you can see this little circle here and this little circle. There's some over here as well. And those tell you that they're Stampin' dimensionals, okay? And then here's a solid circle, which is our mini glue dots, and that's our adhesive. So we have 2 different adhesives in this kit, which are the mini glue dots and the mini Stampin' dimensionals. And we also have the long strips, okay, of, they're adhesive strips. So looks like we'll put 4 on each one. So we're going to find over here on the left here, those panels. And we're going to work with these first. We're going to get all of our adhesive on each of these. And I like to tell people, let's do one thing at a time. That way your area is going to be a lot like cleaner, and you won't, I don't think you'll miss any items that way or drop them, or it's just better to have a very clean working surface. So these are our strips, and right here is a solid line here, and that's where they tell you to put your strip. And there is a right and wrong side to this panel, so look for this. The right side is it's all white, and then the other side it's got that hint of brownish. You could use that side if you wanted to, but I'm going to go with the instructions. So this adhesive strip gets lined up right along the edge, okay? If you go over, then just trim it down with your scissors or paper snips. So we have 4 of them to put on, and this one is kind of just centered. Let's get it over here and give it a good press. Okay, you want to make sure that that adhesive is really stuck down there. And then we have this one up here. And you can see, hopefully, I went over the edge just a little bit, so I will trim that one down. Just grab my scissors here and I'll flip it over so I can see the right side. And I'm just going to angle this so I snip off a little bit of that. We just don't want it shown. Okay, that should be good. Now I want to set that one up there, and we are going to go to town with the next two. So again, we're just going to add these on. Give a good press. I think I may have gone over the edge again. I always tell my customers, and I tell you as well, I only do one thing at a time. That way my brain is only focused on this one step. I'll just double check. Here it is. I can just trim that off at an angle, and that'll be good. All right, here's the last one. You can always fast forward this step if you've seen this too many times, or just stick around. It doesn't really matter. I think sometimes the more you see something done, the easier it is for you. Whoa, that one is way over. So I'm just going to pull this up, trim it off, and there. I've got a mini or a regular size dimensional. Okay, those are all set and have an adhesive on them. The next thing I'm going to go and do is I'm going to add dimensionals to the center of the flowers on the back side, along with all the foliage pieces. So here they all are. We'll put these up here. And then we're going to flip these all over. That white side is pretty cool too. I guess you could use that side if you wanted a white flower. Basically turning these all over. And then we'll go and find our mini dimensionals and we'll get those going. Okay, so we're just gonna start and just go, you know, left to right. I also like to take my piercing tool when I'm working with mini dimensionals because they are smaller, and poke them out and then place them on. I've got to go get my piercing tool and I'll be right back to you. Okay, I've got my piercing tool here. And I'm just gonna bend this one so they're loose, and then just kind of poke it, and then it pops out. And then by using your piercing tool, it's so much easier to quickly put these on. So just poke it, and sometimes you get two coming out, and then place it. Once we get these on, let's just push them over here to the right. Again, you can fast forward this step if you want to. And see, I just poke it, place it on here, and then I can still pick it up and place it over here on the right side. The foliage leaves that look like this here, there should be 3 of them, and they're telling us to put it on the bottom, and you only need 1. So let's see. Yep. The wider side here is the bottom. That's the point. When I'm placing them over to the right here, I'm not sure if I'm in the camera or not, I'm just keeping them so that they are in their own little designated areas here. So basically all of one flower and then the other one, and then those leaves I just did, they're all kind of over there together. Now let's take a look at the double, which is this one right here, because it's got those little like veins in there, and they want us to put 2 of them on there. So we should have quite a few of these. I guess you could get away with just adding 1. Let's do that. Let's add 1 to 3 of them, and then 2 to the other 3, and then we can see how they work. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then this one here we'll do as the instructions say. Actually, those are they different? Let's see. Yeah, they are different. So they're just different sizes. So let me just go back here and just double check. Yes, they both want us to have 2 on there. So I am going to sort these over here on the right side by size. So we have some smaller ones and some bigger ones. Okay, then these little ones, call these the baby flowers, the fresh freesia ones, they're right here. And they want us to have, let's see, it looks like just 1 on there. And it's the one that has this. So it's on, let's add these, turn them so they're all facing the right direction, and they want that mini glue dot to go on the larger side here. So let me just zoom in so you can see that. So I'll poke that mini glue dot, and it's going to go on this larger side. And we'll add just 1 as they call for and get it right in the center there. Okay, let's slide these over, and I will zoom back out. Oops, let's see, working with this new phone. Okay, now on the thanks, if you remember, there's 1 little glue dot here, and then the mini Stampin' Dimensional is over here. So we have to, let's turn this around, and just if you want to look at it so you know which direction, and then turn it over. So we have the thanks on the top, and then the straight edge at the bottom. So they're saying to put a mini glue dot over here and then a mini dimensional over here. So let's go with the mini dimensionals first, because that's what we have in front of us. Now, if you don't like the mini glue dots, then use your adhesive of choice. You could use liquid glue, you could use your Seal Plus. I will show you if I can, there they are. I'm going to use the mini glue dots because that's what's in the package, and I'll just use what's in the kit. So I take my little piercing tool, and I kind of dig underneath the little glue dot there, and then just pick it up and place it and press it down. Okay, those are all set. This has got a lot going on with this card. Okay, now we are going to adhere this panel to the front of the card. So let's take one here, and then we're going to put the other ones over here, and then we're going to go up here and we're going to grab one. Now, you can take your piercing tool and poke it out and just peel it off, or you can just use your fingernails and just peel it off that way. Now, there's no right or wrong way to put this on. It's non-directional. The only thing is we got to just, let's see, is it the same size? Yeah. So it's the same size as the card front. So I'm going to turn mine upside down, and I'm going to match up the corner here and then the corner over there, and then just bring my eyes over here to this corner And then everything else should just fall in place. And we're going to give that a nice press. Okay, and then we can open it up, and that's what the card looks like so far. So let's do that 2 more times. And again, you can fast forward this step if you need to. Again, we'll take this, and my eyes are going to the top left side here, the corner, and then down to the lower left side. And then really everything else should just fall in place. Now, this is going to be really hard. If you make a mistake, it's going to be really hard to pull this off. So if you have one side way too far, then just trim it down slightly. Is one of my, I guess, thoughts. You wouldn't be able to do it too much because then it would be off-centered. All right, so our last panel here, we'll take those backings off, and once again, we'll grab our card base and match up the corner here. Oops, corner, and then the lower corner, and then everything else. It's kind of thick, but it's still okay because it's squishy enough to put in an envelope. I don't think it's going to cost any extra postage. It kind of feels cool. It feels like an album almost, but it's adhesive strips here that's, you know, causing that reaction. So we will keep one of these in front of us, and we are going to look and see what it's saying to do with the rust. So basically all we're going to do is match up the items that are on here, and by doing that, it's gonna raise them up to the level of the panel that we put on here. So let's turn these over so we can see our colors. Or you can just turn over one and then just keep them off to the side here, all grouped together. So these are the ones, they are different. Just look at the leaves and you should be able to tell. I know I'm out of the camera here, so let me just move this back over. And then we have this one here and here. And then these are our sentiments, which I always like to put on last. Okay, so we are going to work with this flower here. So all they want us to do is take the backing off, and I like to use my piercing tool to do that. And we're just going to center this on top of the other flower there. And see how that's popped up? Then we'll repeat. And if you want to peel off the backings, you can do that as well. We're going to match these up and press in the center. Then we'll find the fresh freesia and then peel or poke it off. And then we have, remember, we have one side that's bigger than the other. The bigger side goes over here at the top. And then there you go. Then we'll match up all of the leaves. So it looks like this single leaf is going to go under here. Okay. Now, it might have been easier just to put the leaves on first and then the flowers. So on this card, we are going to do it this way. Flowers first, then the leaves, and then the next card I will do the leaves first. Now this is the, let's see, larger one, I think. Let's see. No, this one goes down here. This is going to be interesting because do we not? Oh, you know what? This one here, this is tricky. You got me. This one doesn't belong here. So we'll pull it up and it's going to go this direction. So these, the leaves in the center here, do not have anything, okay? And then I want to say I messed up on these leaves here. So I think this one is going to go at the top. Let's just see. It's really hard to tell. Like that. And let me see on this one. Yes. Okay, we've got it. I'm pretty sure. No, this one, that goes there. Okay. I think I got it, folks. All right, so there we go. Now the sentiment is next. So we'll remove the mini glue dot here. Remove the backing of the sentiment of the mini glue dot, or the mini Stampin' dimensional. And we're just going to add it right down in this area. You want this dimensional to land right about here. That way everything is at the same level. Okay, our final step is to embellish the little flowers. And the little Fresh Freesia ones, I can tell, have the smaller embellishments. And then I'm going to say the larger flowers have these bigger embellishments. Isn't that cute? Now you can add Wink Stella on the flowers to make it sparkle. I don't have any with me right here, I don't think. Let me just check one more container. No, but at the end I will get my Wink Stella and I'll show you what I mean. Now this one here, this is the one I had to pull off and it's not sticking. So guess what we're gonna do? I am going to leave them on because I feel like if I rub them off, it's going to tear apart. So let's see if I can just sneak one on here without it showing. So we put one right there. And then we can either cut this in half or just leave it full and squeeze it down into place. I think that will work. So put one on first and then the other. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that's one of our cards. I'm going to complete the next two with you. You can also fast forward if you would like to move on to the next card, or you can stay with me and we'll get these made together. So I'm going to make these at the same time. And let's go with a single leaf first. And that is going to go right here. I know some of my participants, they like to make one card first and then they'll make the rest. That way they have one in front of them that they can see and they know where everything goes. I think I will let them know that they need to start with their leaves first and then add the flowers. Okay, so we have those two on, and then the next two. The smaller one that's on the, the smaller leaf that's on the left side, that one goes up here. Oh, I can see one isn't going to work because it's too loose. See that? So I am going to just take a mini glue dot or mini dimensional and take off both sides, and then we are going to just lift up this leaf, add it to the bottom, and then we'll squish it right on. This one will be fine because it's got 2 on here, and that's okay. We don't need it up by the tip. So make sure you do put 2 on there, and we can fix these as we go. Actually, this one has 2. So our experiment with just 1 doesn't work. Then we're going to look for the last 2 leaves. And we're going to add them down at the bottom right. And then this one has 2. We'll squish it. All right, now we get to work with the flowers. Bring in some color. So here's a timid tiger. And the other one. And then we have strawberry slush. So it's easier to put the foliage on first, then the flowers. And then lastly, the fresh freesia. There's a lot going on with this one. I think the other cards, I think one of them at least will be a little bit quicker. I was just looking at all those basic white little flowers, and I think that card's going to be a a little bit of a challenge. Lots of little mini glue or dimensionals going on. Put that there, making sure it's on the bottom here. This goes right about in this area here. And then, oops, I forgot to take off the backing, so we'll just kind of peel that off. And we'll squish it. Okay, let's find those little dots and we'll jazz it up, and then we'll move on to card number 2. So again, the larger embellishments go on the bigger flowers, and then the smaller embellishments go on the fresh freesia. I always like to save my embellishments for last. Okay, so here you go. There's 1, number 2. Oops, guess what we didn't do? We didn't put our sentiment on this one. Can't have that. There we go. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then we have the 3 envelopes. So what I let them know is let's find 3 envelopes, and we'll set those all together. And then over to the side. Card number 2 is the hello card. So we've got this here, and then we have these. So we're working with all those little basic white embellishments, but I'm going to show you a different way of putting those embellishments on. Maybe it'll go a little bit quicker. So as in the same process with the first card, we're going to add our adhesive strips to the outside edges, and then we'll add it to the card front. So let's put those on. You can always fast forward through this if you would rather not watch. But why don't you watch and stay with me and craft along. So when I'm adding these, I just like to rotate my panels. That way it's just easier for me to do, to remind me to do that. Just rotate it. Okay, well, I'm going to set that one aside, and then we're going to pull in the next one. Make sure you're working on the back side. I'm finding that the adhesive backing are coming off as I pull them, so just be careful. So I rip them off, and I think I just need to go a little bit slower. Yep, I think that's the trick. Slow down a little bit, Karen. Okay, that one is over the edge, so we can just trim that down. And then we have one more. Now I'm down to the last strip, and I'm going to move over to the other sheet because that way I won't have to cut these down. But these are great to keep for future cards, especially shaker cards. I'm just pressing down the foam. And that way I know that adhesive is really sticking to the cardstock, the card bases. All right, we're going to peel this one off. It's super sticky too. Make sure you have your handy dandy waste bucket right by close to you. So again, same process, but I just, hold on. Oh my gosh, I didn't even pay attention. These are the ones that go on that one. Well, guess what? We're going to do that again. We are going to, because I'm not going to switch back over to the other card because everything's in front of me. So what I'm going to do is those that we just put the foam strips on, I'm going to just put them over here, and then we'll just have to repeat the process. So again, you can fast forward if you would like to, but stick around and craft with me. That's fun too. I would love to know, what is your favorite kit that Stampin' Up! Has current right now? Is it like a card kit, a crafting kit, even maybe a scrapbooking kit? I would love to, let me know if you would like me to do scrapbooking kits with you. I can most definitely do that. It just depends on the interest level. Because our kits are really, the instructions are put together really nicely, and if I can do it, you guys most certainly can do it, because I'm just a beginner scrapbooker, and I think that Stampin' Up! Does a really good job in illustration and just with their directions. And a lot of time our kits coordinate with our stamp sets and dies as well. Now you might think that adding the strip over those little etching will make it sticky on the front side, but it's actually not. Okay, those went on pretty fast, so that was good. Okay, now we're gonna pull off the backings from this one. And again, just like our first one, let's take this point up here and match it to the top left. And then the point on the lower left side. And then technically everything should just fall in place. In which it does. Okay, so that one's done. This is the easy part, pulling off the backings here. And then again, top left, bottom left, and everything else. Oh boy, I put that down too quick. Okay, so those are all done. Now it's saying to take the, let's see, the little basic white flowers here, we're going to add mini glue dots to them. And it requires 2. Okay, so what I would do is before you take these out, it might be a little bit easier for you to put the backings or the Stampin' Dimensionals on now than it is individually. So we've got a couple designs here. We've got a double and a triple. So the doubles are easy, 1 and 1. And then the other one, they all kind of look like the same size. And the, looks like the one in the center, this one here, the large one, does not get the dimensional. So the smaller flowers on the triple. Okay, so let's grab our mini glue dots, and I've got my piercing tool because it's easier. And we'll just go right along. Let's see, this one here, and add all of the dimensionals. And see how much quicker it is with the piercing tool? Oops, look at that. That one just came right off. Just be a little bit careful. Boy, I'm tongue-tied here tonight. Be a little bit more careful when you're pulling your piercing tool out of the dimensional. Just hold on to the flower part. Let's get one down there. I left one off. This is how I will teach my classes. We're going to put the dimensionals on all at once. Okay, next thing you could do is just make sure that they're pressed down nicely and that they're 100% secured down to the paper. Okay, now, excuse me, we are going to add the little flowers on the paper here. So that's pretty easy because we got the doubles and the triples. So you can just kind of poke them out easy. Make sure you just keep them in front of you. Don't let them off the edge of your desk, because then you're going to say a lot of times Mary ladies will say, I'm missing one. I'm missing two. I said, well, check the floor, check your lap, check under your papers. So it's always best to be well organized. Okay, so we know every flower's, every card's gonna have at least, well, two of them. So what I would do, if you have enough room, you can basically just put one down and then go to the next one, pull it off, back sides, and then find the next one. So you don't really have to line these up in, you know, in their same patterns. You can just keep them in a pile and then just find the card that needs one of these. Okay, so this is a bigger and a smaller flower. So just be careful that you're adding it on correctly. I mean, certainly if you want to stay a little organized and keep them all in the same groups, you can do that. But there's one card there, all done. So the big one, and then is up here, and then the smaller one is on the right side. If you don't want these to be white, you could certainly take your blending brush and gently brush some color on there. Like, so if you had a blending brush that had Darling Duckling on it for ink, you could blend the color on here and then put your embellishments on. Or mix and match them too with the different colors. I'm just keeping the kits as is, just because I am going to be offering this class to another senior living facility. So I need to have basically 3 sets of cards. And I always make, oops, this one only has one on there. I always make boards so that people can see what they're going to be making that month. I think that's always important. So I'll need to make 2 boards and then have 1 kit for myself so I can remember what to bring for that class. All right, we'll finish up this one here. See how I'm working on both cards? It's whatever I pick up. I'll search with my eyes to see which card needs what. Now, before I made this video, I was watching the Patriots game, so I paused it. So I have no idea who won. They were leading. And of course, from New England, I'm going to be rooting for the Patriots. Who do you guys root for? My husband and son and my grandson are not happy that the Chiefs lost earlier in the season, but that is what it is. That's what I keep telling them. Okay, so let's go back. Now my paper, don't do this. This is the strip that I had already taken off, and my instruction sheet got stuck to it, so we're gonna have to fix that. So don't do that. Okay, now they're showing that the embellishments, we've got 3 and 2 and 2 and 3. So that's super simple. They're all going to be the smaller size, so it should go pretty fast. And these little embellishments really definitely take the card to another level. So in class, we will be adding the embellishments at the very end, so they are always doing the same thing and not having to think about what they're doing, really. So that one is super cute, isn't it? I'd love to see alternatives to this kit. I think you could really go to town with it, making several cards more with your own cardstock and, you know, creating your own card bases and panels. You can throw in some other die cuts as well to extend the kit life. Or if you struggle designing cards, take this layout and, you know, if you've got a punch, like even a circle punch, instead of ovals, circles, and this kind of gives you a nice little layout as to, you know, creating maybe a card that has circles instead of ovals and maybe have something different underneath. Almost done, folks. Boy, I hope we have enough embellishments for that last card. Probably just one on each. I don't know. We'll see. See how many we have left. We have 4 left. That's kind of odd. So I'm just gonna double check. Yep. Yeah. We needed all those for those cards. Every flower has one. All right, let's see what we've got for the last card. We're gonna flip it over to card number 3. And okay, so they're asking us to put mini glue dots at one of the leaves, this one here and this one, and then underneath, I guess it's a berry. And I bet that's where the embellishment is going to go. Actually, there are no embellishments for this card. We'll probably use them though. I mean, there's 4 there. I'll use at least 3 of them. Yeah, so let's go ahead and make this one. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't put the hello sentiment on that card number 2. So we're going to have to reverse here. It looks like, let's see, 2, that's easy. So we're going to flip these over and they're asking us to put 2 little Stampin' dimensionals. Now, if you don't want to use dimensionals, use this edge piece here, about 1 inch. And just pull it off and press it right down there. Instead of 2, you got a strip. It's another way you can use up your edge pieces. And this gets put right, so you want this to go right here. That's a complete card now. I think the hardest thing is centering it, but what I'm doing is I'm using the F, that little bump there, as my center point. Okay, there you go. Now you're done. Okay, so let's get this, since we just did a sentiment, let's get these all prepped up and ready to go. So they would like us to put 1 mini glue dot in the center and 1 on the right side. I mean the left side here, so under the word so. So you can flip it over if you want to look at put it exactly how it has it on the instruction sheet. So you want so over here on the right side, And then we can add our dimensional right in the middle there. Whoops. And then we want to take another dimensional, and where there's the second, let's see, this right here. So there's the double hump marks here. It's going to be going on the middle one. So 1, 2, and 3. So just put it under the 2. So 1, 2, and 3. And it goes on number 2. Then we have somewhere are my glue dots. Who knows where they went? They're so small. I guess I will use my liquid glue. And I won't use it yet because I've got to prep all these too. So each card is going to have one color each. What I like about kits is we always have extra supplies left over. So those 4 embellishments and these mini glue dots plus all of those strips over there, they always give us too much material, and it's nice to have that because we can use it for future projects. Okay, so I am going to think about just this little circle here and 1 mini glue dot or mini Stampin' dimensional goes on the circle. So as I have them done, they're just going to get pushed up to the top here. Okay, then they want us to put, we'll put it this way as it is in the picture. One is going to go, let's see, well, there's different leaves. So let's kind of put these together. There's different shapes. Okay, so this one, where it's kind of pointed towards the right a little bit, slanted, or maybe it's going towards this way, whereas this one over here is going to the right, and these 3 are going to the left. So the one that's going straight, we need a mini glue dot over here and here. Again, see how organization is key to the game here? All right, the next I can finish up this one, and then the next one, and if you want to turn this over just so you can see what the color is. Now this one here is right here, so it's basically the opposite. So you have 2 leaves, so one's going to go on the bottom leaf, and then the other one is going to go at the top. Okay, so again, this leaf here, the lower one, and then the top. Lower and top. Now we'll flip one of these colors over so we can see what this group is. And then finally this one here, we will have one over here and up here. So the smaller leaf on the left side and the very top leaf. Okay. Let's add our panels to the card fronts. Now this one here is the one that I kind of got stuck on the instruction sheet, but it's still pretty sticky. The only section that's not is right here. So I think I'll just put a little dab of glue here. I think that'll be fine. And again, I'm going to rotate it this way, even though that this is a horizontal card. I always like to start at the top left, bottom left, and then everything goes in place. Okay, we'll do that again. Let's see right here. Now I can see there is a little bit of a mini glue dot, mini Stampin' Dimensional, that is over the edge here. I'll just trim it right down. And our last card base. Top left, bottom left, and everything else goes. Okay, now our instructions, let's see what it says. All right, all we're gonna do is match up our flowers. It doesn't get any mini glue dots, just mini Stampin' Dimensionals. So this should be quite easy. You may want to peel these off rather than using your piercing tool because they are kind of fragile. Oh, you know, that's weird that they had us put that panel on first, because you gotta slide this underneath. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just take this off. Doesn't matter because you're not gonna see it. And just going to match it up. So see how this doesn't match up down here on that stem? It's because I cut that off, but don't worry about that. I'm just going to grab another mini dimensional. And I'm going to add it to that leaf over here. And I'm going to stick it in place so that that stem matches up. And then it should stay in place. Whoops, didn't even go on there. Stuck to my piercing tool. Okay, so the stems are matched up. And now I'm gonna press it. And now it's all matched up, okay? So what does that mean for us? Well, I'm probably gonna have to do that every single time because I don't like that they had us put these on first. You'll see how this one sits. I think that one was okay. So I guess what I would do in my class is we would put these flowers down first. Even though the instructions say to put that panel on first, I'm not going to do it that way. I think it's going to be too hard. If it's hard for me, then it's going to be hard for them. They could always put the Stampin' Dimensionals on first. So maybe I'll show you the next card, how I would do that. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to do it the other way. That's sentiment. So I'm going to use my liquid glue since I can't find my glue dots. And I put way too much glue on this. So let's see if I can push it. So this is centered. Just like that. They had it up a little bit more, so that next card I'll slide it up a little bit more, but since this is already in place, I'm not going to fool around with it. So let's do this again, and we're going to pop that off. And where are my glue dot or mini dimensionals? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop one in there, and then the other one is going to go up here. I'll remove these. I think the stem is the most important piece here. That was easier, so much easier. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside because it's on another card. Got the pretty peacock one here. Oops, I put it on the wrong one. Oh well, we can get rid of that. There we go. Whew. That was actually a little bit quicker. So this one I'm going to bring up just a little bit more. All right, we are on the home stretch, folks. So if you have to, just kind of put it over here. I need one over here. And then this one. Nope, I got it wrong again. Oh well, we know how to remove them, that's for sure. It's good that they kind of just come off by just rubbing. I want this leaf to pop over. Okay, just 2 more plus the sentiment. I'm going to go back to the first way I did this. That's how they want it. But I don't like how that is so loose. I think my piercing tool has been my best friend. I think that one's okay. All right, let's finish off here. You can actually just pull this off too. I'm going to add another one right here. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of mini dimensionals left. Well, just a couple dimensionals, but all those edge pieces, don't throw that away. You can use that. Just to let you know, I use the D as my center mark amongst the stem here on the pretty peacock. Okay, so let me go grab my Wink of Stella and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my Wink of Stella. I've got 2 of them. One is a really old one, but it's still got some life in it. If you don't like the flatness of how, you know, it is looking a little matted, but you can jazz it up with your Wink of Stella. And a Wink of Stella is just a glitter brush. It's got like alcohol in it and glitter. And I'm just going to brush stroke over the foliage. And you probably can't tell, but they are all sparkly, okay? And what I would do is just do that throughout the card. I just kind of brush stroke. Just a little bit. Just to add a little bit of sparkle in here. You can even go down the stems here. Now these, I'd probably just hit the die here. Now you try this other brush. I think that one is getting a little bit, there we go. It's getting a little dry. This will be the fun one because it's got all those flowers on there, but just kind of brush stroke. If you really want to get crazy with it, you can just go like this along that sunburst and make it a little sparkly. All right, we're going to finish out with this last one here. And now I have 9 cards. There. Okay. A little bit of adhesive there, but I can just rub that off. All right, let's look at all of these beautiful cards here. Clean up my desk a little bit. We got the thanks. We got so excited for you. And then hello, friends. Dear friend. Okay, so again, this is called the Lots to Love kit. It's only $15. It's a great kit for anybody in crafting, maybe that wants to start making cards, or maybe grandkids, girls' night out, whatever. You can order it directly from my website, inspiredbygram.com, and then hit the Shop Now button. And if you just key in 167263, from my Stampin' Up website, you can just add as many to the cart as you want. Maybe you want to check out all of the kits collection, or another option is Paper Pumpkin. So if you do have any questions regarding any of our kits or anything to do with Stampin' Up, please give me a shout at Karen@inspiredbygram.com, or you can post a comment in the comment box. I'll have all the information in the description to order this kit. And please give me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends and family. All right, take care.